Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keegan and welcome back to the channel on another episode of the Supercoach Diaries. As you can see from my results on the board, I had an okay week. Now, disappointingly, I lost my big final in my league game, but luckily I finished 4th, meaning I have that second chance. Anyway, let's look at the overall scores because that's probably what you guys really care about, and that's sort of what I'm more worried about as opposed to league finals. Before we get underway, make sure that you do two things for me. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the episodes, especially running into the end of the year. Make sure you like the video so I know that you guys are enjoying all this content. Now, the score this week, I got 2,261, which was pretty much middle of the road. I didn't do great, but I didn't do awfully either. I had a couple of players that really took the game by the scruff of the neck, and I had a couple of players that really didn't turn up. I only dropped my ranking only dropped by 88, which is pretty much middle of the road as you're going to get. Let's have a look at the team. Let's see who performed and who didn't, and let's look forward to next week. So here's how the team performed this week. As you can see, I had a couple of pretty big scores there. If you look at Sloan, Viney, and Goldstein had really, really big games, as well as Hanbury. But the one person I really want to point out that had a big game for me was Josh Kennedy. Now, I only brought in Josh Kennedy last week, switching Aaron Hall out for Josh Kennedy, and it turned out to be an absolutely amazing move. He was cheap. He was about 380,000, 370,000. He was pretty cheap. And he made me a bit of money, which I could switch Liberatore into Neil. Now, Neil didn't have a great game, but Josh Kennedy scored 141, kicking 7 goals against Fremantle, which is exactly what I wanted. Running into the end of the year, Josh Kennedy will be wanting that Coleman medal, so he'll be kicking as many goals as possible. And West Coast have a bit of a tougher run home than I thought originally, but I think he can still persevere and he can still score some decent scores for us. Obviously, I have no trades left, so I can't really do too much. As far as injuries go, I didn't have any serious injuries this week. A lot of people had Pendlebury in their team. He seemed to have gone down with a bit of foot or an ankle issue, so it'll be interesting to see if he pops up this week. People will be having to use their trades too. If I had trades, there'd be a few people I'd be looking at to move on. Someone like Franklin, while he's prone to the massive game, he's probably in the same boat as Kennedy, so I can't really be too harsh on him. He might have a massive game, but he also might not have a great game. Other people that really let me down were people like Robbie Gray, Jack Stephen, Heath Shaw, Jimmy Bartell. They had really underwhelming games, and if those four scored around their average, my score would have looked a lot better. Obviously, I can't be too upset with Sam Reid. He's doing a bit of a covering at the moment for Dylan Shield, who's still out with injury. And I hope Dylan Shield's back soon, but from what I've heard, it's not looking too positive. But we're going to do the best we can. Hopefully Sam Reid can stay in the team because he's pretty much the only one keeping me afloat as far as having decent scores go. If he goes out, I'm in a bit of trouble. As far as captains go this week, Dangerfield was really disappointing for his captain last week, but I don't think he's going to have 2 bad weeks in a row, so I think I'm going to stick with him, especially against Richmond. Rory Sloane, I should have really had the captaincy on. I had the vice on him, but he got 137, and having him in my team as my captain would have made a big difference to my score. But anyway, you can't do much about that, so I'm going to stick with Dangerfield, stick with Sloane as vice. I'll see if I can loophole them. Doesn't look like I can, looking how the games are situated, but what are you going to do? Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, do make sure, as I suggested at the start, like the video, subscribe to follow all the rest of the episodes. I'm doing a video early this week because I'm going to be busy towards the end of the week with my birthday coming up on Wednesday, and I'm getting married on Friday. So I've got to do this video early, get it out of the way. So I hope you guys enjoyed having a bit of an earlier edition of the Supercoach Diaries. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.